Okay, so the sun is barely up, and I am already sweating profusely. Welcome to Egypt in the year 2560 BC. We are currently at the Giza Plateau during the construction of the Great Pyramid, and my neck is absolutely aching right now. I spent the entire night sleeping on a thin, woven reed mat, but the absolute worst part is the pillow. Ancient Egyptians do not use soft pillows. They use a solid wooden headrest shaped like a crescent moon to keep bugs away. I'm not even kidding. It is time for a morning bathroom tour, and I am genuinely terrified. There is absolutely no modern plumbing here in the workers' village. They use a keyhole-shaped limestone seat placed directly over a very deep sand pit in the courtyard corner. It literally smells like hot garbage and raw ammonia baking in the morning heat. You essentially do your business in the hole and then pour a pot of dry sound over it to cover the smell. It is incredibly primitive, but practical. They obviously do not have modern soap yet. Instead, everyone uses a naturally occurring salt mixture called natrum to aggressively scrub their skin. It completely dries your skin out, but it effectively kills the horrible body odor baking in this insane heat. Quick outfit check before we head out into the city. I am wearing a very rough, unbleached linen dress. It breathes surprisingly well, but the aggressive desert wind blows fine, sharp sand right through the fabric, constantly irritating my sensitive skin all day. I am currently applying a thick layer of black kohli around my eyes using a tiny carved bone stick. It looks like dramatic eyeliner, but the lead-based minerals actually protect my eyes from the blinding sun glare and keep desert flies away. I am finally walking out into the main streets. This entire massive city is called Het El Garab, built specifically for the pyramid workers. Contrary to popular Hollywood myths, these people are absolutely not slaves. They are highly skilled, respected, and well-paid citizens. I am finally walking out into the main streets. This entire massive city is called Het El Garab, built specifically for the pyramid workers. Contrary to popular Hollywood myths, these people are absolutely not slaves. They are highly skilled, respected, and well-paid citizens. The noise and smells in this sprawling village are completely overwhelming. Thousands of men are waking up, lighting fires, and sharpening tools. You can clearly smell roasted catfish, strong garlic, and the heavy metallic stench of melting copper hanging in the air. I am currently standing in the food distribution line to get my daily rations. Everyone working here gets paid in food and drinks. The scribe is carefully checking off names on a papyrus scroll. It is a highly organized, massive bureaucratic machine. The scribe just handed me 2 heavy clay jugs of weak beer and 3 dark, rough loaves of emmer wheat bread. The beer is incredibly thick and cloudy, looking almost like soup. They drink it constantly because the river water is dangerous. Oh my god, I genuinely think I just cracked my tooth. The desert wind blows fine sound directly into the flour while they grind it on the stones. You are literally chewing on tiny, sharp rocks with every single bite of bread. Because of this incredibly gritty, sand-filled bread, ancient Egyptians have absolutely terrible dental health. The sand literally grinds their teeth down to the exposed nerves over time. I am absolutely not eating another bite of this. I will just drink the beer. The beer is lukewarm, slightly sour, and filled with floating chunks of fermented bread. It is basically a highly nutritious liquid meal rather than an alcoholic drink. It tastes absolutely disgusting to me, but it provides the essential calories they desperately need. We are finally walking out of the workers' village and heading directly towards the actual construction site. The sheer scale of the Giza Plateau is completely blowing my mind. The Great Pyramid is currently only half finished, but it already touches the sky. Unlike the ruined, stepped pyramids you see in the modern day, this one is bright, blinding white. They are casing the outside with highly polished Tura limestone. The sun reflecting off the perfectly smooth white stone is literally burning my retinas right now. The noise level at the massive base of the pyramid is absolutely deafening. Thousands of men are simultaneously chanting in perfect rhythm while dragging heavy stones. You can hear the constant, aggressive clinking of wooden mannets smashing against soft copper chisels everywhere. People always ask how they manage to cut the hard stone without steel. They use pure copper tools and a lot of wet sand for friction. The copper is so incredibly soft that blacksmiths have to constantly resharpen the bent chisels daily. We just walked over to the massive artificial harbor they dug right next to the plateau. Giant cedarwood ships are arriving directly from the Nile River, carrying massive granite blocks all the way from Asoa, which is hundreds of miles away. Watching hundreds of men carefully unload a solid granite block from a wooden ship using nothing but thick hemp ropes and wooden levers is insane. A single mistake could crush a dozen men instantly. The tension in the hot air is incredibly thick. I found a small mud brick building near the dusty quarry that serves as a dedicated medical clinic. Because this construction work is so incredibly dangerous, they have specialized, highly trained doctors constantly on site, treating crushed limbs and severe heat exhaustion cases. The fact that they provide advanced medical care and paid sick leave for injured workers proves once again that these are respected laborers, not disposable slaves. They even perform successful amputations and complex skull surgeries here. Ancient Egyptian medicine is remarkably advanced.
I am currently standing at the base of the massive mud brick ramp spiraling up the side of the Great Pyramid. The sheer vertical scale is completely intimidating. Thousands of workers are dragging heavy 2-ton limestone blocks upward under the brutal, unforgiving afternoon sun. It's hard to comprehend. I'm just trying to imagine the logistics, the coordination, the sheer manpower. It's mind-boggling. I'm just in awe.
I just decided to temporarily join one of the official work gangs. They are cleverly divided into groups with highly specific, motivational names, like the Friends of Hufa. I am grabbing a thick, rough hem rope right now to actually help them pull. The physical strain is absolutely unbelievable. The thick hemp rope is instantly tearing the soft skin right off my palms. Every single muscle in my back is screaming in agony, and we have only moved this massive block about 10 feet forward so far. Look closely at the man walking backward directly in front of our wooden sled. He is continuously pouring water from a clay jar onto the sand. Wet sand halves the pulling friction. Without this simple liquid trick, moving these blocks would be completely impossible. To keep everyone pulling at the exact same time, a foreman is loudly clapping his hands and shouting a rhythmic chant. The synchronization is absolutely flawless. If even one person pulls out of rhythm, the massive sled could easily slip backward and crush us. We finally reached a flat resting point on the massive ramp. My heart is beating so fast I can hear it in my ears. A young boy is walking down the line carrying a heavy clay pot, handing out warm water to the exhausted workers. Hey, thank you for the water. I am completely out of breath. How long does it take your team to drag one of these massive limestone blocks all the way from the quarry to the very top?
My father says a strong crew like the Friends of Kufa can move 10 great stones from the deep quarry to the ramp base between sunrise and sunset. But as we climb closer to the sky, the heavy sledges move much slower.
I just want to say this honestly. If you are watching this right now, make sure you subscribe because what you are seeing is not fiction. I am trying to show you history in the most real and accurate way possible, based on deep research, so you can truly feel what life here was actually like. I slipped away from the work gang to explore the dark interior. We are currently walking through the descending passage. It is incredibly narrow, steep, and completely suffocating. The air is terribly stale, and the smell of burning oil lamps is burning my throat. I just crawled through a tiny tunnel and stood up inside the Grand Gallery. Oh my god, the visual scale is breathtaking. The polished limestone walls slope upward into the dark abyss. The architectural precision in this massive internal tunnels is completely mind-blowing. The acoustics inside this massive stone gallery are absolutely insane. If I just whisper quietly to the camera, the sound perfectly echoes up the smooth walls and reverberates through the entire chamber. It feels like standing inside a giant, perfectly tuned musical stone instrument. We are climbing up the steep, smooth center ramp of the Grand Galley. It is incredibly slippery, and the oil lamps cast these massive dancing shadows on the high ceiling. The sheer weight of millions of tons of solid rock above me feels terrifying. I just ducked under a heavy granite portcullis block and entered the main king's chamber. It is made entirely of massive, perfectly smooth red granite blocks brought from Aswa. The temperature dropped significantly in here, and the absolute silence is completely deafening and eerie. Right in the center of the dark room sits a massive, solid granite sarcophagus. It is completely empty right now because the pharaoh is still alive. The precision of the straight internal corners is flawless. They carved this massive box without any steel tools. I finally made it back outside, but we are extremely high up on the pyramid now. The view of the lush green Nile River Valley, contrasting with the endless dead yellow Sahara Desert, is the most incredibly beautiful landscape I have ever seen anywhere. I finally made it back outside, but we are extremely high up on the pyramid now.
The view of the lush green Nile River Valley, contrasting with the endless dead yellow Sahara Desert, is the most incredibly beautiful landscape I have ever seen anywhere.
Look over the edge here. Workers are suspended on thick ropes using wet sand and heavy rubbing rocks to perfectly polish the white casing blocks until they are completely smooth. They are literally making this massive monument shine like a bright star on Earth. There is a massive commotion happening near the top. They are preparing the very highest tier for the pyramidium, the ultimate capstone. It is heavily plated in shining electrium, a natural mix of gold and silver. It will literally reflect the blinding sun for miles.
Standing this incredibly high up without any modern safety harnesses is absolutely terrifying. The wind is whipping my linen dress around, and one single slip on the smooth white limestone would mean tumbling hundreds of feet down to the dusty desert floor below instantly.
What truly amazes me is the absolute dedication in their eyes. They are not forced slaves. They genuinely believe they are building a magical resurrection machine that will guarantee their pharaoh eternal life and protect the cosmic balance of their entire nation forever. The sun is finally beginning to set over the vast western desert. The harsh, blinding yellow light is softening into a gorgeous, deep reddish gold. The massive shadow of the half-built pyramid is stretching out for miles across the green valley of the Nile River. The loud chanting and the aggressive clinking of the copper chisels have finally stopped for the day. Thousands of exhausted workers are slowly making their way down the massive mud brick ramps to eat their gritty bread and drink their warm, thick beer in peace. The loud chanting and the aggressive clinking of the copper chisels have finally stopped for the day. Thousands of exhausted workers are slowly making their way down the massive mud brick ramps to eat their gritty bread and drink their warm, thick beer in peace. I am sitting alone on a white limestone block, watching the ancient world go to sleep. Being here completely shattered every single Hollywood myth I ever believed. The sheer human willpower required to stack millions of heavy stones is the real magic of Egypt. We always think the past was primitive, like people here were somehow less advanced than us. But standing here right now, watching what they are building with their bare hands, I do not feel smarter than them. I actually feel smaller. This was not built by magic, and it was not built by aliens. It was built by thousands of human beings working together with precision, discipline, and belief. That idea alone is far more powerful than any myth we have ever created about this place. When you actually stand here and see it happening in real time, you realize something important. Human beings have always been capable of achieving things that seem impossible. We just forget what true collective effort and purpose really look like. My hands are completely torn up from the ropes, my entire body is covered in fine limestone dust, and I am beyond exhausted. But somehow, even through all of this physical pain, I feel incredibly lucky to have witnessed something this real and this powerful. There is something deeply humbling about seeing what people were able to do without modern machines, without advanced tools, and without shortcuts. Just knowledge, patience, and an unshakable belief in something greater than themselves. I think that is what makes this place so powerful. It is not just a structure made of stone, it is a symbol of human determination, of belief, and of what becomes possible when thousands of people commit themselves to a single purpose.
I am completely exhausted, entirely covered in white limestone dust, and my hands are bleeding from the rough hemp ropes. It is definitely time for me to activate my extraction and return to the modern world. History is absolutely incredible.
See you back in the present.